$2,511. That is what the average American household paid in energy costs in 2024. What if that number was zero? Not reduced, not offset. Zero. Every month, forever. That house exists. It has existed since 1972. It is called an earthship. People are living in it right now in New Mexico, with nothing running and no bill coming. It is banned in most of the United States, but banned is not the same as gone. This is the build guide, and we build what they buried. In 1972, a used car tire came out of a garbage dump in Taos, New Mexico. Most people saw trash. One architect saw 300 pounds of rammed earth, 30 inches of thermal mass, and the load-bearing wall of a house that would never need a furnace. His name was Michael Reynolds. He packed that tire with compacted soil, stacked hundreds more like it into curved walls, and built a structure so thermally stable that it maintained a habitable temperature through a New Mexico winter with no heating system of any kind. The finished walls of an earthship weigh roughly 95,000 pounds. They are 30 inches thick at the base. To put that in perspective, the wall between you and the outside is deeper than the distance from your elbow to your fingertips, and denser than anything a conventional house is built from. That mass does not just insulate, it stores energy. Solar energy absorbs slowly through south-facing glass, held inside the structure for hours, and released on a delay that the sun itself controls. What it does with that stored energy is what changes the economics of living in a house permanently. What exactly does it do with it? The thermal mass walls are only the beginning. An earthship is not a house with one clever feature. It is 5 interlocking systems, each one eliminating a recurring cost that conventional construction assumes you will pay forever. The walls face south. Floor-to-ceiling glass on the south face catches the low winter sun at precisely the angle of the latitude, channeling it into 30 inches of packed earth and tire. In summer, a roof overhang calculated to the solar geometry of the site blocks the high summer sun entirely while still letting the lower winter sun through. The geometry is self-regulating. No thermostat adjusts it. No sensor controls it. The building reads the season and responds. The roof is a water catchment system. Every drop of rain is channeled into underground cisterns holding between 10,000 and 30,000 gallons. That water passes through 4 filtration stages before it reaches a tap. Gray water from sinks and showers flows into an indoor planter bed where plants process it biologically, then continues to flush the toilet. 1 gallon entering the system serves 4 uses before it leaves. That same south-facing glass zone is a greenhouse. Residents of the Greater World Earthship community grow bananas, papayas, and citrus fruit at 7,000 feet elevation, through winters that see snow in April, without supplemental heating. The thermal mass behind the greenhouse holds the temperature above freezing through all but the most extreme cold. These are not novelty plants. They are a functioning food source growing year-round in the high desert of New Mexico. The electrical load of a house with no furnace, no air conditioner, and no electric water heater is roughly 1/5 of a conventional American home. A photovoltaic array of 1.5 to 3 kilowatts powers lighting, refrigeration, and communication indefinitely. The electricity bill is zero, not reduced, zero. 5 systems, 1 structure, no utility connections. What makes the walls themselves work is physics that every person alive has already felt without knowing it. You have picked up a cast iron skillet an hour after the stove went off. The burner is cold. The kitchen has cooled. But the skillet is still warm, holding heat in its mass long after the source of that heat is gone. That is not magic. That is density. Dense materials absorb heat slowly and release it slowly, and the denser the material, the longer the delay between absorption and release. An earthship wall is a cast iron skillet scaled to the size of a house. 95,000 pounds of compacted earth and rubber absorbs solar energy through the south-facing glass during the day. That energy moves through 30 inches of dense mass so slowly that it does not reach the interior surface until 8 to 12 hours after it entered the wall. In winter, the day's solar gain arrives inside the house at midnight, exactly when the outside temperature has bottomed out and the occupants need warmth most. In summer, the same delay works in reverse. Cool night air charges the exterior, and the interior stays cool through the hottest afternoon hours. This is why a family in the greater world community reported an interior temperature of 68 degrees Fahrenheit on a night when the thermometer outside read -8. 76 degrees of separation held by mass alone. No fuel burned, nothing running. The walls remembered the sun from 14 hours earlier and were still releasing it. Reynolds proved this worked in 1972. He spent the next 18 years proving it worked again, and then the state of New Mexico took his license away. In 1990, the New Mexico Construction Industries Division revoked Michael Reynolds' architecture license. The stated reason: building without permits, using unapproved materials, endangering public safety. Not one of his 32 completed structures had experienced a structural failure. Not one resident had been harmed. The division could not point to a single physical safety violation. What they could point to was that car tires were not on the approved materials list. Whether the houses were safe was a question the approved list was not designed to ask. Reynolds kept building. His license was partially restored in 1994 under conditions restricting commercial practice. He fought the code through the courts and through the legislature for the next 13 years. In 2007, the New Mexico legislature passed the Sustainable Building Act, creating a legal testing zone for alternative construction methods in the state. It was a direct result of his campaign. The law that was written to stop him became the precedent that made him legal. His license is fully restored. He is 79 years old. He is still building in the same desert outside Taos where he started. The structures he raised in 1972 are still standing, still occupied, still warm in winter without a single watt of heat, still at zero. If one architect in New Mexico could change the law after 17 years, what does that tell you about the states that still have not moved? Belgium issued standard building permits for earthships without requiring alternative materials approval. France, Scotland, Argentina, and Bolivia did the same. In those countries, an earthship is not a workaround, it is simply a building. In the United States, Section 316 of the International Residential Code does not list recycled tires as an approved building material. That one line in one document is what makes an earthship illegal to permit in most of the country. 53 years of documented performance data, never updated. Here is what most people do not know. The International Residential Code is not a government document. It is not written by elected officials. It is not produced by a public safety agency. It is written by the International Code Council, a private nonprofit organization headquartered in Washington, D.C. The ICC's voting membership includes the companies that manufacture the materials the code requires. Those companies pay membership fees that fund the ICC's operations. The organization that decides what you are legally allowed to build is funded by the organizations that profit from what you are required to buy instead. That is not a conspiracy. That is the governance structure published on their website, available to anyone who looks. The same document that determines what you are allowed to build on your own land was shaped in part by the companies that profit when the alternatives stay illegal. You assumed the building code was written by the government to protect you. It was not. Does that change how you read the list of what is and is not approved? Between 200 and 400 earthships are built every year in the United States, not despite the code, inside it. The owner-builder exemption exists in 44 states and allows individuals to construct their own primary residence without meeting the full IRC standard, provided they personally occupy the finished structure. This is not a loophole. It is a door the industry forgot to close. And every family that walks through it is a household that stops being a utility customer permanently. The Greater World Earthship community sits on 634 acres northwest of Taos, New Mexico. Over 70 completed structures, lot prices running from $40,000 to $120,000. Pre-built Earthships with an 18-month waiting list. The average energy bill among residents is $0 for heating and cooling. The average internet bill is the only utility cost they report. That is not a prototype. That is a neighborhood. People living there tonight, in the high desert, in January, with the thermometer outside at single digits and nothing running inside. So, the clay is under your feet. The tire is in the junkyard. The sun comes up every morning whether the utility company invoices you for it or not. If you live in a state with the owner-builder exemption, which is most of them, you can build an Earthship on your own land today. The code was not written to protect you from an unsafe wall. It was written around the assumption that you would need to buy everything. You do not. Reynolds is 79 years old. He still drives out to the desert outside Taos and builds. The first tire wall he rammed in 1972 is still standing. The family that moved into the first completed Earthship has never paid a heating bill, never paid a cooling bill. The utility meters that were never installed are still not there. The people who took his license away are still selling you the system he replaced. He outlasted them. The walls outlasted the argument. And the number on the energy bill is still 0. Every building material on this channel was buried for the same reason, not because it failed, because it worked without them. There's another one. It has been sitting in plain sight for over a century, cheaper than concrete, stronger than timber, and completely absent from every house built in America in the last 50 years. That one is next. Subscribe and hit the bell. You will want to be here for that one.